Good morning, students. Today we will discuss our next poem, that is Lines Written in Early Spring by William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth is the most significant poet of the Romantic Age, and he is Romantic Age कौन सी एज है? 18th century. ठीक है? And William Wordsworth is popularly known as the poet of nature. आप टाइटल से भी समझ सकते हो, है ना? Lines written in early spring, the season over here. Now, as far as some introduction is concerned, this is the most important thing that you should remember about William Wordsworth, that he was the most important romantic writer, romantic poet of the Romantic Age. And जब ये romance की हम बात करते हैं ना 18th century की, it is not the romance in the literal sense. It is the romance with the nature outside, the natural world outside. है ना? Romantic Age में whosoever writers were there, they wrote about the nature outside nature, okay, the natural beauty of the earth. Now, in this poem, he again describes how everything in nature appears to be full of joy. ये nature's world है. Okay. According to William Wordsworth, nature's world is full of joy, and human world is full of misery. Controversial, right? How he proves it, let us find out in the poem. He says, I heard 1,000 blended notes. While in a groove, I sat reclined. In that sweet mood when pleasant thoughts bring sad thoughts to the mind. Now, what William Wordsworth is saying, I heard he was sitting in a groove. What is groove? Groove is where a group of trees is growing. Okay, trees are growing. And he was sitting there, reclining means sitting there and resting, and what he heard, क्या सुना उन्होंने? 1,000 blended notes, blend mixed notes, music of what we will find out, musical notes. In that sweet mood when pleasant thoughts bring sad thoughts to the mind. Now, all of a sudden, when he could hear those musical notes, blended musical notes, suddenly his pleasant thoughts, they turned into sad thoughts. What sad thoughts relate to? The sad thoughts relate to the miserable condition of humans. Okay. Next paragraph, he says, to her fair works did nature link. Her fair works, beautiful works of nature, beautiful things that are existent in nature. The human soul that through me ran. Now, what is he saying? He is talking about William Wordsworth का एक बिलीफ है. उस बिलीफ को हम बोलते हैं पैंथीज्म. पैंथीज्म का मतलब है प्रेजेंस ऑफ गॉड इन एवरी ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ नेचर. एवरी ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ नेचर. बट यहां पे पैंथीज्म नहीं दिखा रहे हैं, ये पैंथीज्म नहीं यूज किया है. What Wordsworth is telling here, he is telling us that there is oneness of the soul between or in nature and man. But we do not, human beings, they do not realize this thing. Okay, so he says, to her fair works did nature link the human soul that ran through me. So the same soul runs through me and the same soul exists in nature. कुछ बातें इसी से ही आ जाती हैं, बट यहाँ पे ये चीज नहीं दिखाई है. ही इज टॉकिंग अबाउट समथिंग एल्स. And much I grieved, he says, I feel sad. I grieved my heart to think what man has made of man. इंसान ने अपने आप को क्या बना लिया है. He fails to understand that this soul which is there in nature, which makes every object of nature happy, why can't that same soul which is there in man, right? But man is always sad. He's sad and every object of nature is happy. अब कुछ एग्जाम्पल्स लेते हुए नेचर में से विलियम वर्ड्सवर्थ ने ये बात समझाने की कोशिश करी है. थ्रू प्रिमरोज टफ्ट्स, प्रिमरोज होता है, येलो रोजेस देखिए आपने, वाइल्ड रोजेस जो होती है येलो रोजेस, उसको प्रिमरोज बोलते हैं. टफ्ट्स ग्रुप्स में होते हैं ना, गुच्छा होता है वो रोजेस का, येलो रोजेस का. In that green bower is a branch, green, you understand. The periwinkle trailed its wreath. Wreaths is a round circular garland. Okay. The periwinkle is those वाइल्ड फ्लावर्स. याद होगा बचपन में आप लोगों को भी, पर्पल, पिंक, एंड यू नो व्हेन दैट हैड नॉट ब्लूम्ड, उसका जो फर्स्ट बर्ड आता था उससे पटाखे बजाते थे. दैट इज पेरीविंकल. अगर आप मेरे से कनेक्ट कर पा रहे हैं कि पेरीविंकल कौन से फ्लावर्स हैं, पर्पल, पिंक एंड इवन व्हाइट फ्लावर. सो दोज आर द पेरीविंकल. ट्रेल्ड इट्स रीथ. ट्रेल्ड जैसे बेल चलती है ना ऊपर को, ट्रेल्ड ऐसे बेल में लगे होते थे ना वो वाले फ्लावर्स. दैट इज व्हाट इट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट. एंड इट इज माई फेथ, Wordsworth is saying, and it is my faith that every flower enjoys the air it breathes. Now the first example which Wordsworth has taken is the flower. Okay, and what is he saying for the flowers? The flowers, they enjoy what? They enjoy the air that they breathe. This is your first example. Second reference, the birds around me, they hopped. Birds around me hopped and played. Birds ko generally we say they hop. Their movement is associated with hopping. And played. Their thoughts I cannot measure. He says, I do not know what they were thinking about. I could not measure that. But the least motion, the movement, the least motion which they made, it seemed a thrill of pleasure. It means the movement which they were making was full of thrill, was full of happiness. Third example, the budding twigs spread out their fans. Twigs होते हैं आपके small branches of trees, small branches of plants. To catch, they spread out their fan. You know, when the wind blows, they spread out their fans, means they move with the wind. And I must think, do all I can. He says, what I realize when I see those small branches of the trees moving with the wind, that there was pleasure there, which means their movement was full of pleasure. So you know, all these three examples which Wordsworth has picked from the nature, you know, ये सारी चीजें nature का हिस्सा हैं, and they all somehow represent pleasure, they represent happiness, right? But last paragraph he says, if this belief from heaven be sent. अगर ये विश्वास जो है, ये belief जो है, या thought जो है, if it has come from heaven that there is oneness of the soul, okay, then why is it that nature's world is full of joy and human world is full of misery? ये question कर रहे हैं वो. If such be nature's holy plan, have I not reason to lament? Lament means to feel sad. Sad about what? To feel sad about the fact that what man has made of man means अपनी क्या हालत कर ली है human beings ने, what they have done. If there is this belief that there is the same soul which runs in the world of nature and in the nature of man, then why is there happiness and why is there sadness? Okay, now this is what he has left the question on, that why man is sad and why the nature is happy. Now we have to work out the reason for this, that is why William Wordsworth asks a question, what man has made of man? Man has made his life, sad due to various reasons. Number one, we can say he is sad because of his materialistic pursuits. He is running madly after money, and this has invited unnecessary suffering. Okay, now what man has made of himself? Man is not happy, despite the fact there is the same soul which is keeping nature happy, but the same soul is keeping man unhappy because man is running after materialistic pursuits. Man indulges in injustice. Okay, man indulges in distortions in the society that are there. Man indulges in what should I say? Lack of sensitivity towards things, So man is almost, because of so many things, he is sad. And these things which make man has himself made him sad are the reasons why William Wordsworth puts this question, that what man has made of himself. He says, अगर हम nature की बात करें, everything, he says, everything in the nature is full of joy. But man's life is miserable, and all his these miserabilities, why his life is miserable, because he is negative traits की अगर हम बात करें, he is selfish, he follows some blind faiths. Okay, these are certain things which have or they make him sad, and all his blind faiths and blind human actions. So now what you have to understand, as he is saying in the last part, या अगर हम इसकी भी बात करें जो मैंने अभी आपको बताया, that for all these reasons man is sad. So who is responsible for his sadness? Man is himself responsible for his sadness. Man is responsible for a miserable world. Because he says that William Wordsworth का belief है, क्या belief है? That there is a close link between human beings and the natural objects. और वो क्या link है? I have rubbed that. Is the soul, the oneness of soul which runs among the men and among the natural world. But because of our stupid desires, inhibitions and sufferings that we face in the society has made our lives, the lives of human beings, sad. Whereas when nature is concerned, everything in nature is full of pleasure. और ये चीज देख के जैसे पोएम स्टार्ट होती है ना, in that sweet mood when pleasant thoughts bring sad thoughts to the mind. तो वो यही चीज कह रहे हैं कि when I'm enjoying in the nature and I'm seeing all these objects, even my heart is filled with thrill, even I am happy, even I am enjoying it. But the moment I think of human life, I am all full of sadness. And why such a thing? Such a thing is there because man has made himself such. Man ने अपनी इन सारी negative issues को लेके, इन सारी pursuits को लेके, he has made his life sad. So this is all about the poem. A very interesting poem for that. आजकल के times में भी हमारे ऊपर काफी सूट करती है, isn't it? So go through it. This remains the theme of the poem, that everything in the nature is full of joy, right? But what man has made of himself, he has made his life full of misery. Why? These are the reasons. And these are the issues. I hope the poem is clear to all of you. That is all. Thank you so much.